What's up, Central Illinois business owners? We know that insurance and employee benefits are one of the most expensive, confusing, and frustrating hurdles that you face in your business today. Garrett and I work with Central Illinois businesses to create insurance and risk management programs and employee benefit solutions that reduce risk, enhance your business, and maximize your profitability. Head to CIBLinsurance.com to learn more about insurance solutions that are specifically designed for your Central Illinois businesses and to watch our educational videos about work comp, employee health insurance, commercial insurance, and other insurance products to help your business go to the next level. Go to CIBLinsurance.com. We'll see you there.
Welcome to the Central Illinois Business Leaders Podcast, where business owners, thought leaders, and community champions from across Central Illinois come to share their story. The Central Illinois Business Leaders Podcast. Anything less would be uncivilized.
What's up, Central Illinois? I'm Derek Hayden. I'm here with Garrett Ulmer. We are your hosts for the Central Illinois Business Leaders Podcast, powered by Zambu. Zambu is a delicious grapefruit or wildberry vodka-based spirit infused with a Brazilian buzz button. It's smooth, tasty, and leaves you with a signature tingle. Learn more at ZambuLiquors.com. Zambu, taste the tingle. All right, Central Illinois, today's guest is the senior mortgage banker, team leader with the Capital Mortgage team at Flat Branch Home Loans. Ladies and gents of Central Illinois, please welcome Fred Weber. How you doing, Fred?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Doing awesome, man.
I think
Thanks
I can speak for all of us at this point. This has to be a good episode because the 10 to 15 minutes prior to starting, I think we've had a pretty good time so far. So
Yeah.
Yep, that's for sure. And what hopefully the listeners won't see is the mess up that I had in the first try at the intro. I introduced our previous guest instead of Fred, but we got it fixed now and we're ready to rock. So
yeah, we've already determined that Fred's going to be the smart guy in the group today. So no pressure here, Fred.
Yeah, we're in trouble. I told you what advice I was given. So
Sweet. Well, Fred, to get to know you a little bit better, Garrett's going to take you through our speed round questions.
okay.
Yep. It sounds like you've listened to a few of our episodes, so you probably studied up and you're ready. So we'll just attack it. First concert that you ever attended?
Jungle Dogs.
I'm not familiar with Jungle
That is,
Dogs.
they're a ska band in Carbondale. And
Okay.
yeah,
We'll go with
it's
it.
a local band. I didn't get to go to a whole lot of concerts as a kid. We just didn't. So my first concert I ever attended was Jungle Dogs, and I think it was at like the Southern Illinois airport.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Nice.
I like it.
Your favorite movie?
So Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. It's my favorite movie of all time.
Perfect.
So, if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah. Don't do with my hands.
Shake and bake. Shake and bake. Favorite ice cream flavor?
So that one's tough because I was always a chocolate chip cookie dough, but now that I'm an old man, I like vanilla. So
Gotcha. You rocking any toppings or just plain vanilla?
no, when I was a kid, you put everything you could on it, right? Kind of like those sodas they used to make called Suicides. You want to put
Yeah. Yep.
different things. But now I just like vanilla with a little bit of chocolate or caramel on top.
Nice. iPhone or Android guy?
iPhone all day. Blue. I want to see the blue bubble.
I like it.
That's right. Favorite social media platform?
So my favorite right now is TikTok. I
Gotcha.
think it's a game changer in the business environment. So I'm a big fan of TikTok.
Sure. Last but not least, why Central Illinois?
Lack of choices.
We appreciate the honesty.
Yes,
when you're broke-
absolutely.
When you're broke, busted, and disgusted, you take where the job environment takes you. So
Yeah,
you
that's
go where
right.
the
Yep.
job environment takes you. So
For
Nice.
sure.
All right, Fred. Well, at this point, we're just going to hand you the mic.
Yeah.
You take us through your story. Take us to how far back you want. Bring us up to speed with where you're at today.
okay.
Anything in
All
between
right.
you want to share.
So a farmer's daughter and a boy from Chicago. No, I'm just kidding. I'm originally from Southern Illinois. We've already established that, told you guys that. And we moved to Central Illinois in 2009. I had gotten laid off from a medical insurance company here in Southern Illinois. probably wouldn't be hard to figure out who it was because it was located in Marion at the time.
Uh-huh.
They were a large employer, and my wife had broken her leg while we were hiking in the Little Grand Canyon down here, and was 6 months pregnant at the time. And then after the child was born, they laid her off too. And my son was born on November 15th, 2008. And I was laid off on December 19th, 2008. So I needed a job. And the first place that offered me a job was Trinity Dodge in Taylorville.
There you go.
Worked there for a few months, didn't work out. And I kind of bounced around for a while until I linked up with ADT Security. And I ended up becoming one of the top sales reps in the country for them. But I think my hat is, I want to say that it was because I was really good at my job, but it might be more of the environment that my sales territory was Decatur, Danville, and the east side of Springfield.
That helps business a little bit if you're with ADT.
So it made my job a little easier. But my wife was not happy with my work hours. So I had to take another job. I worked for an independent food distributorship for a while, and then found out that wasn't what I wanted to do. And then I ended up working for State Farm and was in the agent aspirant program. And you really find out how close your in-laws are with their daughter when you try to move them out of state. So, in December of 2017, I was presented an opportunity to move to North Carolina or Boise, Idaho, or Tempe, Arizona through State Farm as an agency owner or a State Farm agent. And my wife is like, we're not leaving. So, that's how I became involved in mortgages, linked up with two other companies prior to that. And in September 2019, I linked up with Flat Branch Home Loans. And we've now become one of the number one USDA lenders in the country, top in Illinois. We're a top lender in the central Illinois area. You know, Champaign has a really strong market for us as well, too, with the team that's over there. And I mean, I've really found my calling and the reason for that being is I'm the first person in my family to own a home.
Oh, nice. Wow.
So,
awesome.
We rented my whole life, right? I didn't buy my first home until I was 35 years old. And I didn't understand. I grew up very economically challenged is the best way to put it. Like, I don't know, like my dad wasn't, I don't want to say that my dad wasn't around or involved, but struggled financially. And my mom was the primary breadwinner, and she was an assistant manager at a fast food restaurant. And we were a family of five. So we rented our whole life. And I thought you had to be extremely wealthy to own a home. I didn't understand the process behind it and the parts of that. So when we decided to make Springfield our home, like I didn't take that job with State Farm, we decided since Springfield's gonna be our home, like we got involved. Like I'm involved in a lot. As you guys know, I get conned into some stuff sometimes too. But like my mantra is like, wherever we're at, we're gonna make it as best as possible. Like we're gonna do everything we can to make a better environment. And I've been afforded some of those opportunities now because we're involved. And as a child, I didn't know that stuff even existed because we weren't exposed to it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
My family has, I don't want to take all the credit because I do have a spouse that helps out more than I do probably, but we work really, really hard to have a better environment for my kids have never rode a school bus. Like, I rode a school bus every day. That's where I learned how to fight.
You learned all those 4-letter words and how to fight pretty quick on the school bus.
My daughter got a car for her birthday. I remember buying my first car. It cost me $350, and it was a 1981 Ford Granada, and I just bought her a $13,000 vehicle.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's
and
crazy.
I paid that. I had to save up for 6 months for mine, right? For $350.
Yeah. Exactly.
So when my children get smart with me, I just like, all right, school bus.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, tell us a little bit about Flat Branch. What do the locations look like? I know you've mentioned you kind of go between a few different locations. Tell us a little bit about locations and who you work with.
So we're a Midwest lender. We was founded in Columbia in 2005 by a guy by the name of Jim Yankee. That was prior to the crash. After the crash, they actually found a way to grow through it. Cool. And one of our mottos is we don't want to grow somewhere else until we're the best in our own backyard.
Nice.
So, and we've kind of really lived by that. And the nice thing about us being a Midwest company is we understand the Midwest in general, right? So, and they pick environments that are similar to Columbia, Missouri. So Springfield, Champaign, Southern Illinois, like kind of like that down home Midwestern, kind of the Bible Belt feel still a little bit, right? Family, core family values. And So that's kind of the company itself. And we've been able to grow to one of the top lenders in the Midwest. We're the number one USDA lender in the Midwest in multiple states. We're the number one, which is a rural development program through the United States Department of Agriculture. We're a top FHA lender, which means we help people that aren't necessarily, and we do conventional loans too. But Flat Branch is this company that's kind of embodied the core values of the Midwest. Like our core values are enjoy, love, exceed, and grow, right? And my thing is growth. That's what attracted me to them, like exceed and grow. So Flat Branch is this company that said, hey, we can do a better job than these nationalized companies can, provide a better service and a better product and a personal touch. And I really aligned with that, what I was trying to accomplish with what I want to do personally. And the type of people we work with are realtors, people who are looking to buy homes, first-time home buyers, current homeowners, basically anybody that wants to buy a house. Right?
Yeah.
So, and I approach my business from the aspect that I'm a home loan advisor.
Very nice.
I'm just not a loan originator. I'm just not a transaction coordinator. Like I look at it from the perspective that I want to be here for you when you buy your first home, your second home, third home, ultimately get rid of your mortgage for you at some point. Right. I know that sounds contrary to me being a mortgage loan originator, but we want long-term success for people. And I believe that long-term success starts with generational wealth, and generational wealth can start with owning a home. And, my kids have been and live in a home that we own, and I never had that. Right.
Yeah.
And I know there's people out there that don't know what that's like. So my big thing is we really focus on education.
Excellent.
Great.
So education is a big part of your business, I guess you would say. A lot of what we talked about before was social media, and Garrett pulled up your Facebook page, and you've got just under 4,500 followers on Facebook. Do you utilize social media to help with education and generating business leads, or how are you using social media to gain that type of following?
So social media is like social media now. Do you guys remember like going into the gas station and see all the business cards up on the, the board?
Oh yeah.
From the bathroom, and you go use the bathroom at the gas station, or you go into Walmart and they'd have the signs up. That's what social media is now. It's free advertising. Sure. And I've tried really, really hard to expand our reach through social media, and it does help us. Like we do. I mean, last month we even got phone calls off of our TikToks, people calling and asking us questions on how to move forward with the process. So I kind of look at it like that. The problem there, I wouldn't say it's a problem, but the one thing that people see with social media is that there's so much misinformation out there too. We try really, really hard to have a strong branded, cohesive message that we send out there on a consistent basis. Now, I got some dumb TikToks out there too, where like it's my dog and I turn him into a Viking or something. I don't like one of those AI generators.
There you go. You do what you got to do, man.
But it's how you tell your story. Right. Yeah. Before, if you want to tell your story, you had to write a book. Yeah. Now you can tell your story on social media and people can relate to you. And I know we're not going to do every home loan on the planet, but maybe someone sees my TikTok and is like, hey, I can relate to that person's background and story, because we all know people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So that's how they can get to know you and like you and eventually trust you once they have an interaction with you. So,
yeah.
Now, how do you come up with the content that you put out? Is it something that you plan out on a pretty strict basis, come up with it on the daily, or what are you typically?
I would like to say I'm the mastermind behind that, but I actually have a really good team in place that comes up with the stuff that's probably like dumb and stupid is what I came up with. And the stuff that's like consistent and makes sense is stuff that my team. I have a marketing coordinator. Her name's Ty Charnley on our team. She went to school for communication. She's amazing at what she does. She's an integral part of what we do. And then our company also provides us with a marketing department that does post content on our behalf as well too. So we try to keep that as cohesive as possible.
Awesome.
So I would mess up cohesive and congruent, and I'd say congruent. And Ty finally said, that's not what that means, right?
Yeah, that's okay. That's the Southern Illinois coming out in you. That's all right.
Absolutely.
Garrett and I kind of dabbled with TikTok for a while, and it takes so long to do a video. Like, it just wasn't worth it. Then you'd get like 50 views. I know it's because we don't know what we're doing.
Sure.
But I know for a lot of business owners, that's probably one of the things that they struggle with, is it seems daunting. Like, I don't have an extra hour or two to make a video, come up with the idea, put it on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. So I think that's one thing that if you're able to, you can outsource it. So Fred's got people on his team that have the expertise to help him with it. But at the same time, if you're trying to grow your business, taking that hour or two might be one of the most important things that you do in the day, because otherwise you're not reaching those people. So like Fred said, he's got 4,500 people on Facebook. Do you know how many TikTok followers you got?
I have a clue, man. I will tell you, I've received my first paycheck from Facebook this month.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
It's like $177, but I guess I just took the information that we were putting on TikTok and put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
As reels. And then next thing you know, I get a deposit in my PayPal account for $177.
Holy cow.
Wow.
So,
what is your
just for posting TikTok on reels?
Yeah. I mean,
it's obviously got to generate so many views, I'm assuming.
Yep. And if to generate views and advertising, and now that I'm a digital content creator, whatever that means, right? Because Facebook asks you if you want to do that.
Yeah.
But I will say though, the big key to what you're talking about though is you just got to do it. Like I was talking about, I have a supervisor, name is Nick Wilkins in the Champaign area. And I have had some turnover in the office, and I use some software called BombBomb. And it's a CRM system. And I use that to create video interaction with my customers. So that way I can give them a personal touch, and it's just not a generalized email, because video is 80% more effective than just like email open rates, 3%. But if you add a video with it, the open rate's like 27% or something crazy like that. So I sent these these BombBomb videos to Nick. Nick's like, man, I can't do that. I was like, you think I wanted to?
Yeah.
The key though is that you just got to do it, right? Like Nike, just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
no, what's your TikTok? I don't know what they call it, a handle. This is terrible.
Loan Jedi. Home Loan Jedi.
Home Loan Jedi. I'm going to check it out right now.
That's just what I'm doing.
I tried doing Flat Branch Fred, but someone had that already or wouldn't let me use that. So
really?
Yeah.
Well, the video thing with email is huge, and I agree. Derek and I've been working together for almost 5 years now. And about the time that I came on board, we started talking about it. And I had worked for a company prior to this that they were using Vidyard. And we just started to do a lot of that. And I was like, man, we got to try this. Like it was effective for me because I was doing some digital marketing for about a year before I got into the insurance side. And my connection rate and ability to gain an appointment, once I started just shooting a video, and I look back and like, man, those videos were terrible. Yeah. I mean, they were. Yeah. I mean, my face isn't made for a video anyways, let alone just trying to, but it opened doors that it wouldn't have opened prior. You know what I mean? And then you start to, gain a little traction on some different ways to attract people, and things get better, and the rates increase even more. So yeah, for sure. If you can do video, it's huge.
I think the big thing for us is that we really try hard. Like, I don't want to be a different person in private than I am in public. So the story,
absolutely,
the messages that I put out there, like my TikTok, I'm a big dog lover, and Odin is my dog that he goes to the office with me every day, and he's my lone dog. He's also the size of a horse, so he's a Great Dane Mastiff. But I was like, well, I might as well. As you guys know, pets are the next big thing in marketing.
Oh yeah,
people are buying homes now, not because they're having growing families, but because they want to have dogs and cats, and lizards, and whatever else people get for pets. And so I was like, well, he's already a part of my life, so I might as well just make him a part of our marketing strategy. And man, like, just be who you are, and people can relate to that, and then develop a personal connection. Because my background is not the same as yours, right? Yep. So how can we be more relatable to people? And if they see Odin's the magic, like, people are like, hey, how's your dog doing? I'm good. I'm doing good too. Thank you for asking.
So. Nice. Well, I'm looking at your TikTok, and just as an example for listeners out there, it looks like there's 1,500 views on your very first video, which might have been a Halloween video. I see, like, you guys are walking in with costumes and stuff. So I know 1,500 doesn't sound like a viral video out there, but you got to think of it in a business owner's standpoint. How long would it have taken Fred to go hand out 1,500 business cards or introduce himself to 1,500 people? So he just did it in a 20-second video, got 1,500 people to give their attention to them. And even if one of those people ends up a client, it's worth it because he did a 30-second video on TikTok.
Absolutely.
So, and it doesn't just have to be TikTok. It can be Twitter or YouTube or whatever you're doing. But I do think taking that time to share value in a way that is popular in today's world, TikTok and other social media platforms, is worth it in the business world if you're trying to grow.
Absolutely.
I think it's interesting too. Like I have customers now that'll call me like, "Hey, I just saw your TikTok." I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't know you were following me.
Yeah. Same thing. That's what Garrett and I say. We'll go to Walmart in town and they'll be like, hey, that was a cool video you did. And you're like, oh, thanks for watching. Maybe next time you could like it and comment. So I know that,
like, share, comment, follow, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you don't realize how many people you're actually having watch your stuff until you start to see it pay off, and you'll get calls and emails and texts and see people in public and they're like, hey, keep doing your thing because that's cool. I like watching your stuff.
Yeah.
So
I agree,
for
100%.
sure.
Nice.
So I'd like to go back to your ADT time. So you're a top sales rep. And as you mentioned, you might have worked in some communities that needed some extra security anyway, but you still had to go out and sell that stuff. Yeah. What were some of the sales tactics you used to become a top sales rep for ADT?
The big thing is when I try to meet with someone, you always have to have an elevator speech. And I learned this from someone else. This isn't unique or original. You guys have probably read some of the same books I have. I actually have a very regimented reading program that I stick to, that I design in January for the year based on where I want my business to go and grow. So back then, basically it was, you can't help people you don't know. And how do you meet people you know is by just shaking their hand and handing them a business card. So when you've already have a client, so you already have an interaction, how do you get access to their warm market? That's what warm market or the circle of influence or whatever. And it's just like, who do you know? Like, who do you know that could benefit from the things that you're taking advantage of today? Who do you want to protect today? Whose families do you want to serve and protect? So that way that if something were ever to happen to them in this similar situation, they are protected and maybe it doesn't happen to them. Right. So I would ask, my big thing was referral based business. And we got paid the most on what are called SGLs at that time, which were self-generated leads. You made more money at a higher percentage, you got a higher commission rate, and you got a bonus structure that was different on self-generated leads versus leads that the company gave you. Yeah. So that was like, well, that's where I'm going to make my money.
Sure.
Like, I can add like you're sitting in someone's living room already. Like, how much more intimate does it get in knowing someone than sitting in their living room? So at that point, you might as well ask them what's in the fridge and, what's your grandma, your aunt, your uncle, your cousins, like, who do you know? And I also had a referral program. So if they bought, they got a referral back, and it worked out really well for me. But referral based business and warm market business is how I built it. And I didn't have to knock on doors. I will tell you, I drove a black Ford Taurus and I wore a shirt and tie. And I had a badge because you had to have one because you're private security and you have to show them your badge when you knock on the door. I pulled up to one house and there's a bunch of people sitting on the porch. And as soon as I opened the door, someone yelled, "It's the feds!" And they all ran. And I just walked up to the porch and I was like, and the lady answered the door and she's like, yelled out the door, "No, it's just the ADT rep." And they all came back. And that was one of my best appointments, though, because she introduced me to the whole neighborhood. She knew everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say in a joke, when you pull up and somebody does that, now, we know you got something you need to protect now, right? So let's make sure you're secured.
And whether that's a good or bad story, I don't know, but it definitely helped me, right? That lady was nice enough to introduce me to everyone she knew, and that created a circle of influence, allowed me to do more business. So then I became known as the guy that was like, "Hey, you got broken into, you need to call Fred. You broke into, you call Fred." Right. So, and that's what you guys probably want too. If someone wants insurance, you need to call so-and-so, call so-and-so. Right. And that's what we want to have happen with our customers. I'm I know I sound like I joke about this stuff, but we try to be very intentional with our business plan, right? And our execution of it. So
awesome.
So That's
So-
great. I mean, when we talk to a lot of businesses or business owners or salesmen, I mean, referrals are always the number one way in, but it's funny because I feel like it's always the number one thing that's left behind for a lot of people. It's like you're scared to ask for the business there, you know, and like you said,
Yeah.
it's the best business you can get because the barriers already broke down at that point then.
Well, you got a decision to make. Is it more important to protect your ego, or is it more important to feed your family?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And some people really struggle with that. And man, I know what it's like not to be able to eat. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather be able to feed my family than,
Yep.
not eat. So
Absolutely.
Great advice.
Well, that goes back to one thing, just through you mentioning the referrals and that type of stuff. I think people get too worked up about like, oh, how do I create a referral program? How do I ask? What lines do I have to say? And if you just heard what Fred said, you just ask. Like you don't have to have anything creative. I mean, you can if you want, but you don't have to get too, artsy and craftsy with it. Just ask them. Say, hey, do you know anybody that would benefit from this service as well? And be quiet. Just be quiet, and they'll tell you yes or no.
I think the reason why people try to make it artsy and crafty and like very like super is so that they feel more comfortable asking.
Yeah.
Right. Well, maybe if I make it shinier, people
Yeah.
will ask me instead of me having to do the work myself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I've been following this guy on, if you're in car sales, you might have seen him, but I think his name's Andy Elliott on
Okay.
Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
And he's intense. But his
Okay.
big thing is he's like, how many hands can I shake today? And
Yeah.
then he's like, bicep curls. He's like, be able to shake a lot of hands, got to have strong biceps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
He goes through this, but he's very intense, but he's absolutely right. You can't help people you don't know. And the way you get to know people is by getting to know them. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap up, let's go back to Flat Branch and talk a little bit more about your product, what the process looks like to work with you. So if anybody's out there listening, they say, I've considered buying a house, or I have clients who might be first-time home buyers, something like that. What does the process look like to work with you, Fred?
So I'm going to tell a story here, right?
Perfect.
And I'm going to tell you how I came up with this process, or why I thought this is important for us to develop this process. And to me, it's not a process, it's a journey, right? We're going to go through this journey together, because when I hear process, I hear math, and I hear math, I don't want to do it. So we're going to talk about journey. Everybody likes to go on journeys, right? Everybody wants to go on a trip, everybody wants to go travel. So we're journey, but I read a book by Andy Andrews called Bottom of the Pool. And in Bottom of the Pool, he talked about this game called the dolphin game. The dolphin game, the boys would go to the park and they'd be like swimming, and they would be trying to jump out of the water as high as possible while they're treading water. One kid was bigger than everybody else, and he'd always won. And then one day they show up to the park, and instead of jumping straight up, they went around to this other kid, and he decided to go all the way to the bottom of the pool, push off the bottom of the pool, and then jump out of the water as high as he can. Is that me? Yeah, sure is. Sorry,
Yes,
guys.
that's okay. It's authentic.
Yeah. So what I learned from that, so everyone that was there was like, no, you can't do that. And the moral of that story was, you got to learn how to play at a level that the competition doesn't even know you're playing, right? Think of different ways to provide the same product. So what makes us different is we provide a journey, right? We're here to create a different process. Like everyone else you talk to is like, hey, the loan process, the loan origination process, the process. And ours is the home buying journey. We're going to partner with you through the home buying journey. So when you come to us, we are going to provide an experience, and you're going to go on a journey with us, and we're going to partner alongside with you. So that way, by the time you're done, we've provided excellent communication, excellent customer service. And the key too is our follow-up. Like, we're going to continue to contact you after follow-up. You're not just a transaction to us. We're creating a relationship. And that's what separates us. And I'm not saying there's not other great lenders out there, because I don't like to talk trash about other companies, but that's how we separate ourselves. Is we're going to give you a journey and an experience that separates you during the home buying process, and the home buying journey. So that way, when you're done, you're happy, you feel comfortable, you've been well informed, and moving forward, you have someone who's always going to be in your corner to give you the best advice possible.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Nice.
Excellent. So
our reviews support that too. So that's not just me talking.
I like it. And another question I have. So is it mainly home buyers you work with, or do you do any commercial lending, anything like that?
I don't do any commercial lending.
Okay.
My niche is home buying, right?
Home buying.
So
Okay.
our niche is for residential markets.
Okay.
home buying only, and I could just like you guys. I don't know what type of insurance you guys specialize in specifically, but I have learned that if you try to be the master of, if you try to chase multiple rabbits, you don't catch any.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm just chasing one rabbit right now.
Yeah.
And then do you have a radius as far as what you cover?
If you have a pulse and are breathing. So yeah, if you guys are pulse and breathing, you're in my radius. So
Perfect.
I want to
That's
help
awesome.
everyone who can. It's to me, I don't want to say this, I chose this industry, but the industry chose me. And because it was able to help me become a homeowner, I feel like I have a duty and a responsibility to help other people become homeowners.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I can tell you're passionate, and I'm sure that rolls over to your clients as well.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I think, I do think our listeners would enjoy the parking ticket story if if you're willing to sign off with that last story.
Yeah.
I agree.
So my wife was pregnant and had broken her ankle and was getting ready to my apologies. That's a different story. So my wife was pregnant, and at SIU Carbondale, you have to have different parking level passes, right? And I think she parked in the wrong color, blue or red or blue, or I'm not sure, but they gave her a parking ticket. The day she was supposed to graduate college, she gave birth to our daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes to get her diploma from the bursar's office, and they said, nope, you got to pay this ticket. She calls me, and I said, nope, we ain't paying that stupid ticket. You were pregnant, make an exception. Well, they didn't. And then she never got her diploma. And then last year on our state of Illinois taxes, we had a $27 deduction for a parking ticket from SIU Carbondale from May of 2007.
Oh man. So now,
I will tell you, the state is going to get their money from you no matter what, alive or dead.
So now my question is I didn't ask this earlier, the $27, was that an inflated price, or what was the actual cost of the ticket back in the day? Do you even remember?
I'm going to be honest with you, $27 sounds like a cheap parking ticket. So
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I think that might be it. That might have been, like, maybe it was a $2 fee and it was a $25 ticket.
Oh, great story.
That's awesome.
So my wife has been blessed and fortunate to be with a guy like me, right? Don't pay your parking ticket, but they get it from you anyways. What I learned is just pay the bill. Just get it over with. Like, don't wait 15 years to pay it.
Yeah. Just do it and move on, right?
Nice.
Yep.
Well, Fred, if there's any listeners that would like to contact you, get a hold of you, what's the best places to find you online?
I got 2 websites. So I have savewithfred.com and the capitalmortgageteam.com. And then that's obviously the best way to get a hold of us, but you can find me with my cell phone, 217-820-4700. And then I have offices in Murfreesboro and Springfield. But really, that's my personal cell phone too. I still give all my clients my personal cell phone number.
Awesome.
And you can tell because I have 8,500 contacts on my cell phone.
Nice. Well, we'll put we'll try to link the savewithfred.com and is it capitalmortgage.com, you said?
Capital Mortgage Team.
Team.com. We'll put those in the show notes down below the show. If you're listening, go to the description below the show here, and we'll link up those websites there as well. So
I'll leave you with this. I do want to leave you one thing. So Flat Branch has some uniquely branded items that we give for closing gifts.
Okay.
Our own beer. So Flat Branch has its own beer.
Nice. What's it called?
It's called oh shoot, I got it in the back. I can't it was called Flat Branch 500, but I think we just call it Pilsner Park or something, or Park Pilsner.
Okay.
That's what I call it now. So Flat Branch beer, and then we have Flat Branch wine.
Nice.
We have a red and a white. Don't ask me about wine. I can't tell you. We have our own seltzers now too. So we have a blackberry lemonade and a cherry limeade seltzer. We have our own coffee, branded coffee. And I'm going to get you guys some. I'm going to send you guys some of this stuff.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
And then we're working on our own energy drink right now currently.
Holy cow.
So
we got to figure this stuff out.
Yeah. And that's what I give away as closing gifts. So if you like beer or anything related to coffee or alcohol, I can hook you up.
That's awesome, dude.
Check all the above.
Yeah. That's my day. That's my day in a
nutshell
there. Right? Coffee, wine, beer, go to bed, do it all over again.
Oh,
no,
man.
that's great. That's great. Awesome. Well, for all you listeners out there, make sure you're subscribing to the CIBL podcast on your favorite podcast platform. While you're there, you better be leaving us a review or else we're going to hunt you down.
That's right.
You can also find us on social media, mainly LinkedIn and Facebook. We also have Instagram now, so check us out there. We've not ventured into TikTok too heavy yet. I think we've got a page, but we don't have anything up there yet.
Yeah.
So maybe we can get a hold of Fred's team and they can help us with it. So,
I'll just
Fred,
give you access to Ty, yeah. So
there we go. Fred, until next time, you've officially been civilized.
absolutely.
Take care, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Central Illinois Business Leaders Podcast. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/CIBL Podcast. You can also follow us on LinkedIn. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It's the civilized thing to do.